Hello everybody, back for another one. So one thing that's been bothering me about these videos I'm recording is that nasty moihé effect. You know, the squiggly lines you get when you try to record a screen? Now, it's much harder to notice when you're recording the coloring process, but when I'm doing the line art on that light background as I am right now, it's squiggle central. And by the way, that's gray, it isn't even white in the background, so you know the squiggle is really bad. I've been doing some research and there isn't much one can do about it. However, I do record both my tablet and my screen at the same time, so if it gets too bad, I can switch over to the screen recording. I don't know about you though, but I personally prefer watching someone's hands even if there is moihé. Let me know though, we can do something about it if it's too bad. Okay, moving on. So, doing these Halloween designs has been a lot of fun. Lately, I've been exploring this somewhat newfound love for horror, and it's so great to see it reflected in my art. I've always been really drawn to comedy and fantasy, but horror has been something that I've been discovering and exploring more of recently. I'd always go more down that fantasy route while making art, and it sort of felt like something was missing, you know? I do think they can overlap a lot, but they do have somewhat distinct flavors. And at first my explorations were almost entirely stories, but lately I made it a thing to slowly go through old horror movie classics. I've never been too much of a movie person, which is odd considering my dad owned a video store when I was a kid. I'd usually just watch the same movies over and over again though, like Wayne's World, Tenacious D, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Back to the Future. And some more cringy movies when I was younger, but we don't need to go there. But lately I've been giving it a try. So I started way back with Nosferatu and Universal movies, the black and white ones. Then I did a quick jump to the 80s with Freddy Krueger, and suddenly now I'm just obsessed with drawing from those old movies. There's just something special about the composition and lighting in these old Universal movies. It's as if the lack of color made them push themselves even harder on those other things, and it's so beautiful. I'm also an absolute sucker for old things. So to watch a movie and think this was made almost 100 years ago just scratches some type of itch in my soul. You can probably notice on my little pinups that I have a real soft spot for retro things. And the other day I was reading a Vampirella comic and they had this section where people could write and get responses, quote unquote, from Vampy herself, allegedly. And in one of those letters there was a guy talking about getting the magazines delivered in Vietnam as he was deployed himself. I just love these bits of casual history you get from those old things, you know? So in that same vein, another thing I really love doing is hunting for old magazines on Internet Archive. There are so many amazing illustrations in those pre-chip printing era of magazines. So if you're a lover of pen and ink illustration, I'd really recommend taking a look. You can even find several issues of old Victorian magazines and all sorts of old cool stuff. I even emailed my old drawing teacher with one of those magazines because the black and white stuff was just so tasty. On the subject of pen and ink illustrations, I've been rekindling my love for traditional art a little bit. Until I managed to get a display tablet, I used to spend most of my time drawing and painting traditionally. I never completely and entirely adjusted to the graphic tablets. And of course, I was compulsively collecting a bunch of art supplies, as one does. I thinned my collection just a little bit a few years ago when I moved and space became more scarce. But I then moved again, thankfully, and space became a little more available, so now, you know, there's space for the art supplies. But by the time that I moved, I was pretty much exclusively drawing digitally. I'm not too fond of the mess that comes with traditional art, I'll do say that. But now, I'm just feeling kinda drawn to traditional media again, so I might make some videos like that in the future, at least some shorts. Oh yeah, I've been having some fun uploading some shorts I already had. I was making those on and off for Instagram in the past and had just a few laying around. They do feel much more fun to do on YouTube though. So if you like to poop watching short content, check them out. But back to the traditional art subject. I ordered some Russian gouache the other day from the same makers as the White Nights watercolors, if you're familiar with those. Now, I'm a fan of the White Nights watercolor because they are Or at least they were when I last purchased them, like 10 years ago. So affordable for what they are. They're really, really pretty nice, and they're really, or were really not that expensive. I then went looking to see if they made some gouache because I want to try out gouache. You know how it goes, you watch some YouTube videos here and there, suddenly you wanna try a whole new media. I do have some tubes of Winsor & Newton designer gouache, but my white is pretty much all dried up at this point, and I'm not a huge fan of the colors they have in the set I bought. They do have your primaries, but I'd rather have some split primaries. At the very least, a cool and warm red, instead of that ugly ass primary school green they added. I don't know what it is about that green, but it just makes everything so cheap and ugly to me. And I do love green, but not that green. Please give me more reds. Anyways, I wanted to explore that side of affordable yet decent paints, so I go straight to the makers of White Knight, and they do make gouache. Firm handshakes all around. I do have to learn how gouache works properly because most of my endeavors with traditional media have been with the transparent types of media, like watercolors and markers. So the moment I have to mix light tones instead of just leaving the paper white, my head gets a bit confused. I'm getting there though. I do paint that way digitally, so maybe that will help. In fact, I remember something that was really hard for me to grasp at first in digital painting was not treating everything like transparent media. That was a doozy. Took me a while. Now, with that experience, maybe it will be a little bit easier. I have played around with the paints a bit, and the only way I can get an okay result is to treat them like watercolors at first, which is fine, but I see some people using gouache like oil a la prima, and I'm just mesmerized by it. I definitely have a lot more experimentation to do. I don't think the watercolor beginning way is wrong because it helps your paint not lift, but I wanna try the other way and make it work. So another fun physical thing I've been playing with lately, that sounded weird. Anyways, is holographic sticker paper. I don't know what it is about shiny things that makes our little primate brains go wild, but I sure do start acting unwise when I see a holographic sticker. I don't know if it's just the general attractiveness of shininess to us, or if we're just all conditioned to thinking holographic means rare because of the card games. I know several card games did that. Either way, it doesn't matter, shiny makes me go... Very unfortunately though, those are just for me for now, and are not available in my shop. They're also to make dick stickers for my friends, and general light vandalism with the dick stickers. Don't tell anyone. But I've been playing with the idea in my head that this could be Patreon rewards in the future. I just have to have a patron, which I don't. Yet. And find out if there's a way I can bulk mail things internationally in my dumb little postal system. Last time I checked, the guy said no and I had to spend half an hour to mail 4 envelopes, so not ideal. Maybe if I annoyed them enough by bringing hundreds of envelopes and hogging one of the 4 stalls they have for the entire day, they'd find a way to help me. Maybe. I don't know. But we'll see. Could also be for giveaways. Would it be a faux pet to add dick confetti to a giveaway package? I have a lot of that laying around, for reasons. I should probably get in the business of bachelorette parties. Would fit right in. I've been having a lot of ideas in general about this whole content creation thing, and it can be really fun if you're not really on that mindset of trying to make things grow too fast and go viral and yada yada. Gives you some nice room to explore and just create things. I hope you're enjoying watching this stuff as much as I'm enjoying creating it. Well, looks like we're reaching the end of the footage. As per usual, the design is available on my store, link down below. If you like the video, the rambling, the art, or anything else, do consider leaving a like and subscribing for more, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye!